Few people whom I ask them to come to yoga, they'll be like, no, I don't want to practice yoga. I don't want to chant Om. It's so much more about religion. The chances of a woman having postpartum depression is much more lesser if the woman is practicing prenatal yoga versus someone who's not practicing prenatal yoga.
I wish I would have known about the prenatal yoga, and I wish I would have done the prenatal yoga during my pregnancy.
I remember when I was pregnant with my first child and I would do so many things and people were like, oh, okay, where do you have so much energy, We should stop treating pregnancy as a disease. It's another beautiful phase in one's life. So let's make the most of it. Pre-menopause, menopause phase can actually be a very challenging phase in the life of a woman, right? More challenging than any of the other phase. You feel like something is kind of taken away from you, So this is where yoga practice can really help a woman to really ground herself, As small as 2-year-old can practice yoga, Like I do a lot of yoga with my son who's just 3 years old, but it's done more in a playful format.
As we talked about intimacy, so can yoga improve the sex life also? Yoga से ही होगा. So is it yoga doing asanas on the yoga mat, or is it much more than that? Let's try to find out today. How yoga is useful in different life cycle phases of a woman. Whether she is a teenager girl or a girl who is trying to get married, or a woman who is planning to conceive a baby or already conceived, or a woman who is trying to come back into shape after delivery of a baby, or a woman who is in menopause phase and fighting with that impacts. So our today's guest is teaching moms prenatal and postnatal yoga from last 7 years, and she has touched more than 10,000 lives of women through her yoga journey. So all the women out there, grab your tea, find a comfortable spot, and give a warm welcome to our today's guest, Mrs. Ramya Ramamurthy, who is a certified yoga teacher and as well as advocate of holistic wellness, mentor to many, and a supermom herself. Hello Ramya, welcome to the channel Talk with Supermoms.
Hi Swati, thank you so much for having me here today.
It's our pleasure.
My pleasure too.
So Ramya, what age parents should send their kids to the yoga, and when kids should start yoga in their life?
Okay, so if you're referring to yoga as a proper practice for a child where they can learn it in a more disciplined form, in a structured form, then 11 years and above. Because before that their body is still developing, and so we don't want a lot of activities, external physical activities which can kind of hamper with their skeletal structure. But however, before 11 years, the children can practice yoga. As small as 2-year-old can practice yoga, Like I do a lot of yoga with my son who's just 3 years old, but it's done more in a playful format. Like, we introduce them to yoga through stories, through songs, even the postures that we give them. So it's not going to be like in a very, this is how you have to do the posture, this is the discipline you have to maintain. It's just more of introducing them to the chantings, introducing them to the concepts of meditation. But if you're looking for a proper discipline structured practice, then 11 years and above, slowly you'll start off with the child, teaching the child Surya Namaskaras, Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing, and then from there you can build their practice little by little.
Okay. So after 11 years, how yoga is useful for the teenagers?
Yeah, for teenagers especially it's useful a lot, because this is the time where they are developing, growing in all 3 aspects of their life. Their physical, their emotional, their mental, right? Even physiologically, there is so many changes that's happening in a teenager. So this is where yoga can really bring about a sense of grounding to them, a sense of balance. So this is where they're also, working, there's a lot to study, so they need that focus, they need that concentration. So a lot of balancing postures in yoga can help with that. They need that confidence. So there are postures like warrior series postures which can really help them to develop that confidence. And also this is the time where children can also, with so many other things calling their attention, it's they can become a little more anxious, or their nervous system can get dysregulated. So a lot of calming postures like child pose can also be introduced to them. Along with it, breath exercises, right? So all of this is very essential for a teenager. But for a teenager, again, we have to make sure you progressively build. So start with 20 minutes, 30 minutes of practice for them, and then slowly build. But what's important is that you have a consistent routine. A teenager is introduced to yoga with a consistent routine, short duration, and slowly build it and make it fun. Because teenagers want to have fun in the process. So you, rather than introducing it as a strict discipline, see how you can play around with it, make it fun for them, draw their attention, and once they are interested, I'm sure they will take it forward with them.
Yes, definitely rightly said, like teenagers get bored from everything very soon. So if we introduce fun in their yoga practice, that will be great.
Yes.
So if we talk about teenager girls, so yoga can be done in periods also, and how it is beneficial in the menstrual cycle.
So yoga can be done when one is on menstrual cycle, not just for teenagers, even for adult women. They can do it during their menstrual cycle, but the practices that you do matters, So rather than forcing oneself to do strong practice, very intense practice, understand what are your needs of the body during the menstrual cycle phase. In the menstrual cycle, I know there can be aches and pains and cramps. So there are a lot of postures that will help to give relief from this, right? During menstrual cycle, there is hormonal, hormones are all over the place. So there can be mood swings and all of it, which is all valid, which we can't disregard as, no, you're not supposed to feel all of these set of mood swings during menstrual cycle. That can happen. So how about you doing meditation practice, breath practices that can really calm you, that can really relax you. So that is what matters. So again, also doing practices that can really help in improving the energetic flow in the reproductive organs, like the Baddha Konasana, right? Or Supta Baddha Konasana, where you lie down in butterfly, and which really improves the circulation in the reproductive area and also relaxes. And along with that, doing calming breath practices like Brahmari, Ma chanting can really give a lot of comfort during the menstrual cycle phase of a woman.
Wow, even I didn't go to yoga in my periods, but after listening from you, like it is beneficial in the periods also.
It is, just that it's important that you avoid few practices. Like during the menstrual cycle, one should not do a very strong back bend, a very deep forward fold, a strong twist, because all of that can put more pressure on the abdomen area, and we don't want that. So it's important that a practitioner informs the teacher, I'm on my menstrual cycle. So then the teacher will also guide. These are the postures you can do. These are postures, take it easy. Accordingly, if you're practicing it the right way, it has immense benefits during this time as well.
Yes. Let's go for the common things about the yoga practice. Yoga gives the strengthening and stretching, but if someone wants to do fast weight loss, like someone has marriage in their home and they want to reduce the weight within 1 or 2 months, so in that also yoga can help?
So I would say if somebody is coming with the goal of losing weight rapidly in 1-2 months, then really don't come to yoga, There are so many other things probably out there which people claim can help. Maybe you can try that. But see, yoga can aid in weight loss. It can surely aid in weight loss, but you should not see yoga as the only one important way to lose weight, because yoga is such a holistic practice, right? But yoga can really aid in weight loss because it will improve your physical activity, right? It will improve your metabolism, which is essential for also losing weight. It will help in stress reduction, which is also a reason why a lot of people put on weight, or hormonal imbalance. It will also help to improve your sleep. So as it benefits you in all these other supporting factors, and when you also become more mindful with your eating patterns, it can aid you with the weight loss. But if you're looking at yoga as an end goal for weight loss, I would say I feel that it's not the right way to approach it. Definitely you will experience weight loss. I have myself experienced weight loss with regular yoga practice, but it takes time, and see it more as a holistic approach, how it will impact and benefit every phase of your life, which is also equally important when you want to get married,
definitely,
right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Every aspect is important. I think the question I asked, yoga is much more than the fat loss.
Exactly. Yes, it's so much more than just for weight loss. Yeah.
Yes. And other fitness activities we have talked about now. So what is the difference do you see between, let's take gym and yoga? What is the difference?
Yeah, so again, yoga, as I was telling you earlier, it's such a holistic approach, right? You work on it at a physical, mental, and also emotional level. So gym is also great. When you practice it with yoga, both gym and yoga are amazing. But gym has specific target, probably to enhance your physical performance, or to improve your cardiovascular health, right? So you can look at gym activities more like a specific target that you want to focus on, strength training, all of it. But yoga, it covers a bit of all of these aspects, right? So if you're able to do gym with yoga, nothing like it, So I've also recently started a bit of strength training, and I can see how it really helps me get better with my yoga practice, and also how my yoga practice helps me better, be more resilient with my gym as well. I don't do a lot of the gym activities, but here and there when I do it, I can see how both can be such a beautiful complementing practice, for sure.
So both combination is great.
Is good, yes. So if you're going to gym, go ahead, go to the gym, but end your practice, end your activity session with a nice yoga practice. So that way you're also getting that relaxation, you're getting that release in your body after a bit of intense workout that you've done in the gym.
Okay. Many yogis I see, there's some calmness on their face and there's some glow on their face. So does that glow come from yoga? How yogis get that much calmness and glow on their face?
Okay, so in terms of the glow, I think probably yes, maybe a lot of people have that glow and the calmness. Firstly, I would attribute for the glowness is the improved blood circulation. So when you are doing yoga, again you're moving literally your whole body. Your blood is circulating so beautifully through the entire system. And one of the very important factor to improve, be it the glow in the skin or get that liveliness, get that energy on your face or any part of the body for that matter, is the improved blood circulation, improved energy circulation. And with yoga that happens. So that's the reason a lot of people do have that glow, But with respect to the calmness, yes, when you're doing yoga, you're working so much more with your breath. That's where yoga is so different from so many other physical activity. When you're moving, you're also moving in coordination with your breath. We focus so much on the breath, right? So when you're moving with your breath, your body, your mind are in harmony. And when all of these things are together, there is a sense of calmness that comes in you. And that probably reflects a lot in these people.
Brings the glow.
Yes.
Hair thinning is the big problem these days, whether they are male, female, young or old people. So does yoga helps in the hair thinning, solving the hair thinning problem also?
So you cannot see yoga does not really provide a cure to hair thinning, because there is so many other factors involved, right? With hair thinning, there's genetics, there is also the food that you eat, there is lifestyle changes that one adopts. So, but however, yoga does promote good hair health. Again, when you're doing yoga practice, your stress is less. A lot of people lose hair because of stress, right? And also when you're doing inverted postures like Shirsasana, headstand, or shoulder stand, Sarvangasana. So these postures improve the blood circulation to the scalp, right? So that really helps to promote good hair health as well. So, but however, along with it, if you're also eating a good nutritionist food, they both together can help you promote good hair health, definitely.
Yes. So when we go for yoga practice, can we go empty stomach, or if not, what things we can eat before going for yoga practice?
Yes. So when you go to practice yoga, it's important, or it's rather preferred, that you practice on empty stomach. Because when you have a meal, it's important that the blood goes to your abdomen region to aid in digestion. Okay, but when you start practicing yoga immediately after you've had your meal, the blood flows in throughout the entire body, which can hinder the digestion process, right? So that's the reason we say that make sure you practice yoga on an empty stomach, or if you've had a meal, if it's a light meal, your usual meal, then 2 hours after the meal, or if it's a heavy meal, at least give 4 hours gap before you practice yoga. But however, if you're very hungry, then maybe you can have a small piece of fruit or some nuts and seeds and then go on with the practice.
Okay.
Yeah.
In market, many yoga mats comes. Some are thick, some are cloth, some are thin. So what kind of yoga mat is the best suggested?
So that also depends so much on what are your preference, what are your requirements, you know. So firstly, when you go, when you want to select a yoga mat, look at the thickness that you want, you know. There are very thin mats. At the same time, there is 4 mm, 6 mm, 8 mm mats. So it depends upon the person also. Like few people want a little more cushiony mat and few people are comfortable with thinner mats. So for example, somebody who's having a knee condition, we always recommend them to use a thick mat so that when they place the knees down in few postures like a low lunge or you know, Ashwa Sanchalana, their knees are more comfortable. So depending upon the thickness you wish, you can choose the mat. Okay. Then the second comes the material, you know. So there is a vinyl material, there's rubber material, then there is cork, jute, and there is also cotton, you know. While the rubber is probably a little bit more durable, you know, not very you know, eco-friendly. So in that case you can go for cork or jute or cotton yoga mats. But when you're looking for more eco-friendly mats, check how is their grip, you know, because sometimes these eco-friendly mats, they might not have good grip. So it's important that you also make sure they have good grip, so that when you place the yoga mat on the floor and you practice, they should not move, right? Otherwise you lose balance and injure yourself. Similarly, even when you place your hand, your leg, the mat should be able to give you good support. So these are the three essential things that you can look for: the thickness, you know, the material, the grip, and along with it, if you're somebody who travels a lot, you know, how heavy is your mat? And if you want to carry your mat, like for me, for example, because when I travel, I want to take my mat with me. So it's important that I also choose a lightweight mat that I can comfortably move around with that mat. So yeah, these are a few essential things that one can keep in mind when looking out for a yoga mat.
Yeah, good points that you covered regarding the yoga mats. If a couple is planning the baby, and how yoga helps the fertility in women as well as men also.
So one of the main reason that yoga helps in fertility is it improves hormonal balance, both in men and women. You know, hormonal imbalance can be one of the main reason the reproduction is hindered. The fertility issues can happen, right? So when you're practicing yoga really works a lot on the endocrine system. So that can really help to bring about a lot of hormonal balance. And then a lot of couple do not conceive because of stress, anxiety, you know. So again, when you're practicing yoga, you're much more grounded, much more stable. It can help you to deal with the everyday stressors of life, and that can help you. And then for a woman who's practicing yoga, there is improved blood flow in the reproductive organs. There is any energetic blockages that are there, that can be, you know, alleviated through yoga practice. So this can help a lot. You know, yoga postures like butterfly pose, Supta Baddha Konasana, you know, or Viparita Karani and all of that. And similarly for men, regular yoga practice can improve sperm count. You know, yes, along with hormonal balance, it can improve the mobility and also the sperm count. So postures like plank pose, postures like, you know, Viparita Karni, leg up the wall. So these postures can help. And also when couple are able to practice yoga together, it is much more, you know, it develops that intimacy in them, develops that emotional well-being, support within them that can also enhance a lot in having a healthy relationship to move on to their conception journey.
Yes. As we talked about intimacy, so can yoga improve the sex life also?
It can help in improving the sex life, because again, purely the blood circulation in the reproductive organs gets better when you're practicing yoga regularly. Specific postures when you do the bridge pose, again coming back to butterfly postures, you know, coming to the plank postures or even the boat pose, all of these are very, very good to really work on the reproductive region. And also when you're practicing yoga, again, like as I told earlier, if you're able to do it together as a couple, you know, there's also that bonding that happens. For a lot of people, sex life is not just about a physical thing, it's how they connect emotionally also, right? And so when they're able to connect with each other emotionally, when they're able to be there with each other, understand each other's needs, able to really work on each other's mental health, all of that can really help in improving the sex life also.
Yes. And many women have this PCOS and PCOD problem. So does yoga help them to recover from that problem?
Again, yoga is really a very good practice to incorporate in aiding, the PCOS and PCOD journey. How it helps is, again, PCOS and PCOD, a lot of it happens. PCOD is still much more milder form, right? Where there's cysts in the ovaries, and maybe there's no hormonal imbalance. Maybe there are not other symptoms of PCOS, but PCOS is the next level of PCOD, where along with cysts there is hormonal imbalance, there's insulin resistance, and all of this. So when you're doing yoga, again, like, yoga is a beautiful practice to bring about hormonal balance. I have personally experienced how it can help. Like, my thyroid was fluctuating like several years back, and when I started practicing yoga, it really helped me stabilize that. So that's about thyroid. But yeah, coming back to PCOS. So PCOS is, what happens is, when there is more androgen hormones in a woman, which is the male hormone, which is more in a woman than what it's supposed to be, right? So when you're practicing yoga, it can stimulate your endocrine system. Your endocrine system is the one that's helps in regulating all your hormonal levels overall. So when you're practicing yoga, it can really help you with working on stimulating the endocrine system to stabilize better, and also work on the insulin resistance, work on stress, anxiety, which is also one of the main reasons a lot of women develop PCOD or PCOS, right? And also it helps you to improve sleep and weight management. A lot of women struggle with weight management when they have PCOD and PCOS, and when you're practicing yoga, you can work on your weight management as well, right? Keeping it more constant rather than fluctuating. And with supporting factors, if you're including the meditation, the pranayama, they all can be such a beautiful combination to help you with this journey. I have personally, interacted with a lot of women, practiced with a lot of women who have seen the light in the dealing with the PCOD and PCOS journey through the practice of yoga. It has really helped.
Okay, great. So many moms you have taught prenatal and postnatal yoga. From last 7 years you are teaching. So first tell us about what is prenatal yoga and what is postnatal yoga.
Okay, so prenatal yoga is basically the yoga that a woman can start practicing once she's conceived her child till the child labor, till she enters the labor. Okay, and postnatal is a yoga practice that we impart to women once they are new mothers, after their initial phase of healing and recovery is complete, and then they get into postnatal yoga, which can really help them to rebuild their life, rebuild their energy system, rebuild their own bodies, their minds. Yeah.
Okay. So prenatal yoga, till which month a woman should do? Like, till which month? Like, there are 9 months, so till which month she can continue?
She can do till the day she goes for her, the childbirth. Like, I have had a lot of women who practiced with me like the previous day of the childbirth, the next day or midnight they have gone into labor, so you can practice till the very end, because in prenatal yoga we work on practices that's tailor-made for pregnant women, and we work on practices at each trimester. So first trimester set of practices can really help. Second trimester is all about building that strength, building that balance in a woman, which will help her to in the labor and childbirth process. Then third trimester is about more of opening her body, the pelvic floor, to really get ready for the labor and childbirth process. So there is progressive way of how we also practice in prenatal yoga, so that can really help her. So women can, if she is not at all practiced yoga before, I would suggest that first trimester she take it a little easy and start practicing yoga from second trimester till the very end of her trimester. Or if she's been practicing yoga, like I've been practicing yoga, so even when I was in my first trimester, I did not have much energy, but how much of energy I would have, I would still try and get some yoga practice, and I continued till the day I, got into my labor. Yes.
Okay. So does it help in the normal delivery?
It can help, definitely. I've again taught so many women who've practiced yoga and who went on to have natural labor and childbirth without any medical intervention, because you're preparing your body. Primarily, you're working on your pelvic floor, right, which is a very important part right now to help you with the labor and childbirth. So that way, it can help a lot. And not just about labor and childbirth. How a woman recovers post childbirth also matters. So if a woman is practicing prenatal yoga, she can also recover much more better. The chances of a woman having postpartum depression is much more lesser if the woman is practicing prenatal yoga versus someone who's not practicing prenatal yoga. Yeah.
After listening your definition and the benefits of prenatal yoga, even I am also thinking I wish I would have known about the prenatal yoga, and I wish I would have done the prenatal yoga during my pregnancy. It seems so beneficial.
It is, it is so beneficial. But that's why I really encourage all the women to practice yoga during pregnancy. But I've seen it, but a lot of people in India are hesitant to practice. They'll be like, okay, it's what if I get hurt? What if I get injured? What if it's not good for the baby and all of it? But this is where I would like to tell all the viewers that prenatal yoga is tailor-made, specifically modified to suit a pregnant woman's needs. So a lot of time, even if the woman is ready, the family will be like, no, don't practice, just sit in one place. But those are the things that's not really good, just sitting in one place. We should stop treating pregnancy as a disease. It's another beautiful phase in one's life. So let's make the most of it. When you're practicing prenatal yoga, you have so much energy, and you will be able to do so many things. I remember when I was pregnant with my first child, and I would do so many things, and people were like, oh, okay, where do you have so much energy, You're pregnant. I'd be like, I'm pregnant, of course, I know I'm carrying a baby, but otherwise I have that energy, I have that, enthusiasm still, and I attribute a lot of that to my practice, which really helped me during pregnancy.
So prenatal yoga, women should do only in the guidance of health expert.
Definitely, yes.
They should not do by their own, only in the guidance of prenatal yoga experts.
Yes, so that they do it the right way. See, yoga is a practice that when you do it the right way, you have enormous benefit. But when you don't do it the right way, you can also, just like any other activity, right? So that's why it's important to have a proper guidance. So you learn it correctly, you do it properly, and you reap the full benefits of it.
Yes. So postnatal yoga, if we talk about, from which month after delivery, after which month she should start the postnatal yoga?
Yeah, so post childbirth, a woman should take complete rest for 6 to 8 weeks, minimum 6 to 8 weeks. She needs that time for her body to heal, to recover. And also this is the time where it's very crucial both for the new mother and the baby, this is the bonding time. So it's important that the mother takes that time off to really spend time with herself, with recovery, with healing. Even if there's any stitches, they'll take some time, right, for healing to happen and all that. And also get to know this new bond she's going to build with her child, right? So then post 6 weeks or 8 weeks, when she goes for the first postpartum checkup with the doctor, just make sure the doctor is clear to practice yoga or any physical activity for that matter, making sure the stitches are healed. Or if the doctor says, maybe you should just rest for another couple of weeks, then please rest. But once you've got the approval, then you can start the postnatal yoga where we progressively build, progressively start building our strength, our confidence, our energy level, and all of that. Yeah.
Wow. So for the busy moms who don't have time to elaborate the yoga practice, so any few yoga asanas you can recommend them?
Yeah, for busy moms, for moms in general, anyways, all moms are busy, right? It's not easy. Like I remember before I had my child, I would have like 2 hours to practice, and after him, getting that 1 hour is not easy. So in that case, I would say for moms who are not able to take out that 1 hour time, it's okay, at least show up 20 minutes, but show up for yourself consistently, right? So that is what matters, not do it this week and then forget and do it the next week and all of it. So try to take out 20 minutes. I think 20 minutes everybody can take out, right? And so in this 20 minutes, what a mother can do to improve her own well-being is start off with Surya Namaskara. Start off before even Surya Namaskara, just sit down with yourself, ground yourself, and then do some Surya Namaskara practice. And after that, do Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing. Brahmari, which is the sound of humming breath. So you can do those two practices along with Nadi Shodhana, end with a short Shavasana, and then you can go about with your day, and yes, Surya Namaskara, the mother can do 6 rounds. Okay, so just to put everything together, start with a bit of centering to ground yourself. 6 rounds of Surya Namaskara, 6 rounds of Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing, 6 rounds of Brahmari, and then 1-2 minutes of Shavasana. You can cover all these 5 things within 20 minutes for sure. Okay. And that should really help you to start your day with. And try to do this first thing in the morning, because for mothers, once they step out there, everything's calling for their attention, right? So try to take out this 15-20 minutes for yourself. And that way you also feel so good that you've done something for yourself, self-love, self-care, all those concepts you're introducing to yourself. And you can also teach that to your children as well in the process.
Yeah, so she can start with 20 minutes and gradually she can increase.
Yes, when she has time, definitely she can do a full-fledged practice.
And like this way, she can be energized. She can remain energized for the whole day.
Yes.
A woman who is in her menopause phase or pre-menopause phase, how yoga can help them to reduce the impacts of that phase?
So during pre-menopause, menopause phase can actually be a very challenging phase in the life of a woman, right? More challenging than any of the other phase, because you feel like something is kind of taken away from you. There's a lot of mood swings that can happen. There's a lot of hot flushes that happens. There's a lot of anxiety that happens. Sleep deprivation happens. Again, hormonal imbalance by default, happens. And then, weight management can be an issue. So this is where yoga practice can really help a woman to really ground herself. I have noticed like women even in the past generation who've been very calm and composed, when they're hitting their pre-menopause phase or menopause phase, they become so anxious. I see them, they are probably getting more angry at people at home, and everybody will be like, why are you doing this? You should not do, calm down, you were never like this. But nobody knows that she's not doing this on purpose. It's because of some changes happening in her and she herself doesn't know it, right? So it's important first for a woman to be educated to know that these changes can happen. So don't beat yourself up for it. You will get overwhelmed, it's fine. But this is where you can turn to your practice more again. A lot of postures can help you, breath practices. Meditation can help you to really handle those mood swings, or even if all of this is happening, to accept this is going to happen, it's going to be there for some time, but I'm not going to succumb to it. So when you're doing your yoga practice, the Surya Namaskaras, alternate nostril breathing, Nadi Shodhana, again coming to the warrior series, the bridge postures, butterfly pose, all of this can really help her to channel again, working on her hormone fluctuation, working on stabilizing her mood, working also on weight management. And so this way she can be able to cross the other side of the bridge by being with herself, accepting herself, yeah.
So many benefits
Yes.
can be there in her menopause phase.
Yes.
So a person, till what age he or she can do the yoga? Like, I mean to say after 60s, I am asking.
Again, there is no really age limit to practice yoga, till the very last breath one can practice yoga, but how you adapt to the practice matters. Maybe if somebody has been practicing yoga for a long time, from their 20s or even from their 30s, they have all the strength, all the energy, or even the body allows them to keep going on with the practice. Like we've seen so many videos of a 90-year-old practicing yoga so effortlessly, 100-year-old practicing yoga. So there is no really a time limit till when you have to practice yoga. But then maybe for some people, they might not be able to do few things. Say for example, somebody has high blood pressure developed after a certain age. In that case, you're not supposed to do inversions. You don't want to have more blood rush to your head. So avoiding those postures, doing more of calming practices. So those are the modifications that the person should keep in mind. And if somebody who has never done yoga before but wants to do it post 60 years, then we always have senior yoga, which we can adapt and modify to suit them. So again, yoga is not something you just have to do on the mat, right? So you can take all the other aspects of yoga and keep doing it with you doing till the very end.
Yeah. Okay. So one thing like every mommies want to ask that mommy's pouch that we get after delivery. So through yoga also that we can reduce.
Yoga can help. In fact, it has helped me also, because see, the mommy's pouch, what generally people call, see, of course your body has gone through so much during pregnancy and childbirth, so it needs some time to slowly start stabilizing. But I would say all the mothers out there, don't look at it only from an appearance point of view. So the the flat belly that you see and all is not just that only working on the outside comes. You have to start working inside out. There's something called as transverse abdominis, which is the innermost core muscle that we all have. There are many layers to our core, innermost core muscle. So in yoga practices, we have breath practices called as Uddiyana Bandha. Then there are so much more subtler postures of engaging your inner core muscles, the transverse abdominis. When you're working on doing this practice, you will be able to strengthen your core muscle from inside out. They are very subtle practices, so very subtle movements, very subtle practices. But when you're doing it, you can really feel, when I've taught my postpartum mothers, and they'll be like, this looks so simple when we are looking, but when we do it is when we feel that burn from inside out, and I can actually feel how it's helping me from inside out. So these are the practices that can help. So when you're strengthening the core from inside out, definitely things will start looking better on the outside, and you're truly stronger from inside. Yeah.
Definitely, I will also take that advice and I will practice that. Some myths and facts we have. 3 myths and facts I will ask. So you just tell me, is it a myth or fact?
Sure.
So first one is, after a good yoga practice, Shavasana can be skipped.
No, Shavasana should never be skipped, no matter how much time you have. Even if you're doing 30 minutes yoga, please make sure you take out 2 minutes of time for Shavasana. Why? Because see, when you're practicing yoga, your body's core temperature increases, your any physical movements for that matter. Even in yoga, your body core temperature increases, and especially when you're working with your breath, it can increase the core temperature. So you need to slowly cool down your body. You need to cool down your system. So Shavasana is the practice that we do to cool down, to allow our body temperature to regulate back to normal level. So that's why it's important that you finish up everything. It's like adding a final touch, which is so important in any cooking practice also. One ingredient, that last ingredient, if you miss, though the whole practice of cooking, was fantastic, the dish might not turn out as you wanted. Same thing with yoga. Shavasana is so important that you cool down and then you feel like, okay, now I'm ready for the day, Yeah.
Yeah, so Shavasana should not be skipped.
Yes, no, it shouldn't.
So next point is, yoga is originated in India, right? So does it belong to, yoga belongs to only one religion?
So yoga definitely has its roots from India thousands of years back, but no, yoga is not at all a religious practice. This is like the most common myth. Like when a few people whom I ask them to come to yoga, they'll be like, no, I don't want to practice yoga. I don't want to chant Om. It's so much more about religion. But no, Om is also a universal sound. But if somebody doesn't want to chant Om, it's fine. There are so many other things that yoga has to offer. So in yoga, there is no religion advocated, but though some people can use it, to advocate a religion through yoga practice. But essentially, yoga was or is not a religious practice. It is something made for a human being, specifically for a human being, for his or her holistic well-being. And after that, if you wish to further enhance in your spiritual path, you can use yoga. But even in that spiritual path, it's not related to a religion. In the spiritual path also, it's more about realizing few things that you would want to realize about yourself, about your life. Yeah.
These days, many foreigners are also practicing yoga. If it would have been related to any religion, then they would not practice, right?
Yeah, probably. Yes.
Many foreigners are also practicing these days.
Yeah.
So next point is, yoga gives stretching nicely, but does it give the strength training also?
Yeah. So this is again another big misconception, is yoga is all about stretching. No, yoga is not just about stretching. It can really help you in building strength, but you're actually using your body's own weight to build strength, right? When you're simple, for example, when you're holding a plank, you're using your body's weight to build that strength. So no, yoga is not at all just about stretching. Like few people tell that, oh, I don't want to practice yoga because I'm not flexible and I can't stretch. And so I would tell that those people need yoga more than anybody else, right? So yoga is not just about stretching. And if you think it's something so easy, so simple and all of it, then please do attend a proper yoga class, and you can see how it is a combination of so many more things than just stretching. You can use it for stretching, of course. If you want to do a few postures just to stretch, say after a gym activity, you can do that, but it's not just that. Yeah.
Yes, so it gives the strength training also. So that is the end of our myth and fact session. In the end, I would like to ask, what is yoga for you? And is yoga is more than the asanas doing on the mat, or is it much more than that?
So yoga for me is a lifestyle practice. It's not, as you rightly said, it's not just something that you do on the mat. So yoga for me is something that I do for an hour, which will help me for the rest 23 hours of my life. So it's not that I just go that 1 hour and forget about it and then leave it. So that 1 hour I do should help me with how I maintain my energy level, how I maintain my, even my mood swings, all of it. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. That's when I go back to my practice and see what I can learn to help me get better, right? So yoga for me is all about trying to incorporate in my everyday life, not just through the physical movements, through the way I reflect, through the way I try to be self-aware of few things, to the way I like to teach, my own students, right? So all of it I have learned through yoga in a very big way. And for anybody who's practicing yoga, just don't see it as something on the mat. You can carry, there are so many benefits or so many things that yoga can teach us. You can carry in your everyday life, in the way you parent, in the way you work, in the way you cook, in the way you clean your house. Yoga can literally translate and show up in all these phases of life as well.
Wow, that's really amazing. Thank you, Ramya. Thank you for coming here and giving us the benefits and telling us the benefits of yoga. Now I can understand yoga is much more than doing asanas on the mat, and I think it's a whole lifestyle that you have told us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Today we talked about the benefits of yoga in the different phases of woman's life. So if you are a woman in the pregnancy or post-pregnancy phase, don't miss the prenatal and postnatal yoga, but only in the guidance of a yoga expert only. Believe me, ladies, during the pregnancy, I didn't practice prenatal and postnatal yoga, and due to which I faced some problems in my body after delivery, and that is till now it's not that much recoverable. I got the problem of varicose vein, and that is irreversible in my life. So if you want to spend a smooth pregnancy life and after that you want to come back into shape, so please practice prenatal yoga and postnatal yoga during your yoga journey, but in the guidance of health expert only. So if we have missed any topic, please comment and let us know. We will try to cover it up, and subscribe the channel so that you should not miss any upcoming podcast from our channel. Thank you.